When we think of global warming, we think of how much solar energy, heat, and radiation hits the Earth and is playing ping pong with the greenhouse gases in our atmosphere. And the more it ping pongs, the more it loses heat and radiation. So this got me thinking, and hear me out. What if you place like a gigantic mirror on Earth to reflect the initial solar radiation back up in the atmosphere when it doesn't get ping ponged? The radiation isn't as bad. You might laugh now, but I looked it up, and it's a real thing. Albedo modification is a type of geoengineering that aims to counter the effects of climate change by increasing the Earth's reflectability. Albedo is the reflective power of a surface. Lighter surfaces have a higher albedo than darker surfaces. Like how wearing a white t-shirt on a hot sunny day feels better than wearing a black t-shirt. Albedo modification uses this concept to cool down the Earth's surface. There are a few ways as to how albedo modification might look like. It can look like covering ice, snow, and glaciers, especially in the Arctic and Antarctic, with reflective materials to reduce melting. It could be changing the DNA of some crops to increase the reflectability of leaves. It might look like covering deserts and drought-prone areas with reflective materials to reduce further desertification. It can also look like painting roofs white to reduce indoor temperature. Now, some of these sound more feasible than others. On one hand, painting roofs is an accepted albedo modification practice, especially in poorer countries that struggles with intense heat. On the other hand, how on earth do we increase the reflectability of glaciers and deserts without wiping out the existing environment? A reflective material proposed by academics is polypropylene, a type of plastics that doesn't biodegrade. And we're going to be putting more plastics on the floor? Today we can be in one of three scenarios. We're either anticipating the impacts of climate change, currently experiencing the impacts of climate change, or have gone past the tipping point in reversing climate effects. Albedo modification is considered a mitigating strategy, which isn't always best suited for those who are already struggling with global warming. This will also be a terrible option for those living in places that are already cold, because it'll just make it colder. Also, think about this. Reflecting solar radiation doesn't fix the greenhouse gas problem. Some of that heat is just going to be ping-ponged back when it hits the atmosphere. So, we're still cooked. But hey, less than before. We take these W's when we can. As much as it would be epic to have a massive mirror on Earth to reflect all the heat back out, albedo modification doesn't actually look realistic. But maybe it's worth reflecting, pun intended, reflecting on why we even started albedo modification in the first place. Why do we need to cool down the surface and atmospheric temperature? Why do we even need these mitigation strategies? What are the lives of those who are suffering from extreme heat? Think of climate change like your distant cousin. It's gonna get weirder and weirder. So, what are you gonna do about it?